Mother has a river that sings. White herons
Welcome
dance
to
where
the Voice of
meadows
Autism Resource Hub. Today, we are excited to introduce Sources, examine the modern integration of technology within specialized education and digital content strategy, outlines a sophisticated training framework for middle school teachers utilizing personal digital twins, PDT, to provide continuous, data-driven support for students with autism. This curriculum emphasizes dynamic data tracking and immersive tools like virtual reality to manage behavioral transitions and career preparation.
Her love's a whisper in the air. Through clouds of dreams, she sees my way. A sky of light where hope will stay. Ooh. Mother dreams of clouds soft and bright, a horizon glowing with radiant light. The river no longer flows in reverse. Tears turn to stone, a path to traverse. Paving the road for my journey to Rome. Her love's the guide that will lead me home. I lie close, I feel her care. Her love's a whisper in the air. Through clouds of dreams, she sees my way. A sky of light where hope will stay. Paving the road for my journey to Rome. Her love's the guide that will lead me home. Mother has a river that sings. White herons dance where the meadows ring. When I was born, joy burst through, spilling like waves to the endless sea. Tears turn to stone, a path to traverse. Ooh, paving the road for my journey to Rome. Her love's the guide that will lead me home. Mother has a river that sings. White herons dance where the meadows ring. When I was born, joy burst free, spilling like waves to the endless sea. Mother has nights silent and still, a heart full of worry, a void to fill. The river flows back tears in streams to quiet springs where sorrow dreams. I lie close, I feel her care. Her love's a whisper in the air. Through clouds of dreams, she sees my way. A sky of light where hope will stay. Ooh. Mother dreams of clouds soft and bright, a horizon glowing with radiant light. The river no longer flows in reverse. Tears turn to stone, a path to traverse. Paving the road for my journey to Rome. guide that will lead me home. I lie close, I feel her care, her love's a whisper.
Today, we are diving into a really powerful idea, one that connects something as personal as a student's learning plan to the content you see on your phone every single day. We're talking about living blueprints, these dynamic, real-time models that deliver exactly what a person needs precisely when they need it. So let's get right into it.
But first, I want you to think about this question. How would you even begin to build a map for a world that never, ever stops changing? You know, a world where the landscape shifts not just every year, but practically moment by moment. Just keep that question in the back of your mind, because it is the key to everything we're about to unpack. All right, our story actually starts in a pretty familiar place, middle school. Now, this is a time of massive change for any kid, right? But for autistic students, this period can be incredibly turbulent. And the main tool we've been using to help, the Individualized Education Plan, or IEP, well, it has a really fundamental problem. So, picture a traditional IEP like an old paper map. It gets printed once, using information from a single snapshot in time. But between 6th and 9th grade, a student is going through these intense psychological and physiological changes. That paper map, it becomes obsolete almost the second it's printed. It's just not effective for navigating such new and frankly complex territory. So if the paper map is broken, what's the fix? Well, it's this revolutionary idea called the Personal Digital Twin, or PDT for short. And I want to be clear, this isn't just a simple update. It's a completely new way of thinking, a total paradigm shift.
So what in the world is a PDT? Well, it's not some static folder on a computer or just a list of data points. Think of it as a living blueprint or a dynamic digital guide that actually evolves with the student. It learns from their interactions, it adapts to what they need, and it gives this real-time picture of their educational and, just as importantly, their emotional world.
And the tech that makes this possible is called the digital thread. First, it pulls in all the data from elementary school, making sure nothing gets lost when they move to a new building. Then, and this is the cool part, it uses a standard called XAPI to continuously log new interactions. We're talking social, academic, emotional, you name it. This creates a seamless, totally unbroken record. What does that mean for teachers? They get an always current, always on understanding of their student. No more data gaps, no more starting from square one every September.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world for a real student? Let's take a look at how this idea turns into practical, genuinely life-changing applications. The whole point of the PDT isn't just to track data, it's to simulate experiences. It creates this incredibly safe space for students to practice and master real-world skills before they ever have to deal with them at full intensity. It's like a flight simulator, but for life.
Take a new 6th grader, for instance. For some of them, just the idea of getting from English to science class can be a massive source of anxiety. With the PDT, they can simulate that route. They can walk it virtually dozens of times, getting used to the sights, the sounds, and that dramatically cuts down on that day one stress.
And as kids get older, the challenges, they get more complicated. So for 7th and 8th graders, the PDT can plug into VR technology. This lets them practice really tricky social situations, like, say, how to resolve a conflict with a friend. They can do it in a safe, repeatable virtual world where the stakes are super low. But this might be its most powerful use. It can analyze biometric data from a sensor, we're talking things like heart rate, to actually learn a student's individual stress signatures. The PDT's AI can then give an early warning to a teacher or even to the student themselves, which allows them to de-escalate before an emotional meltdown even has a chance to happen. And listen, this isn't just some futuristic dream. The results are real, and they are measurable. We're seeing a 70% reduction in serious meltdowns, a 20% increase in a student's ability to advocate for themselves and manage their own needs. And, this is absolutely crucial, it's all done with 100% compliance on data privacy and parental consent. The bottom line is, it works. So, what we've just seen is this deeply powerful, hyper-personalized model for education. The whole idea is a massive shift in focus, right? We're moving away from these rigid, one-size-fits-all systems and towards the dynamic, ever-changing needs of the individual. But what if that same exact principle is also shaping a completely different world?
So let's make a jump. Let's pivot from the classroom right over to your content feed.
because it turns out that same universal quest for personalization that led to the PDT, it is completely tearing up the rulebook for how we create and consume information online.
Just look at what's called the barbell model of content. On one end, you have these tiny, hyper-condensed 15-second videos. On the total opposite end, you have 5-hour deep dive podcasts. The middle ground? It's basically vanishing. Now, why is that? It's because we, the audience, are choosing for ourselves. We are building our own little IEP for information, picking the format that gives us the most value personally. It's the exact same principle as the PDD. The individual, not the system, is the one calling the shot.
So what makes any of this actually work, whether you're talking about a student or an audience? It all comes down to this pyramid here. The foundation, the base of it all, is authenticity. The information has to be true, a faithful representation. For the PDT, that means the data has to be accurate. For content, it means it has to be genuine. The next level up is true value. It has to be genuinely useful. See? The PDT works because it provides a true and valuable model of the student. And effective content? It works for the exact same reason.
So as we start to bring these two seemingly different worlds together, you can start to see that a personal learning plan and a personal content feed, well, they're not so different after all. They're kind of like two sides of the very same coin.
Let's break it down. The PDT uses hyper-personalized data to help an individual grow. Content strategy uses personalized content to communicate with a huge audience. Yeah, they operate at different scales, but their DNA, it is identical. The goal is to get the right information to the right person at the right time in the most effective way possible.
The technology might be different, the context might change, but the fundamental goal is becoming universal. We are all moving away from these old one-size-fits-all models and toward something new, dynamic, responsive streams of information that serve the individual, not the system. And that leaves us with one final and really crucial question to think about. The personal digital twin is here. That's a fact. And it's only going to get more detailed, more predictive, more woven into our lives. So the challenge for all of us is this. How do we build these systems to make sure they empower our growth without just defining who we are? How do we make sure the human always stays in charge of the blueprint?
To quiet springs where sorrow dreams. I lie close, I feel